Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of your health assessment course. Welcome back. I have gotten over my pneumonia, but now I have a sinus infection. This spring is not starting off well for me, but hopefully I'll be 100% by next week. All right, week 1 was great. You guys did a really nice job with your discussion questions. If you'll note under week 1 DQ2, I have listed out your CLC groups, and so there are 5 groups with 3 to 4 people per group because you do have some CLC assignments coming up. So be sure to check that post so you can find out what group you're in, and then you all should have access to your group forum. Okay, great. So week 2 now, and we're focusing on health assessment. So the first discussion question is kind of interesting. We've got some with short, choppy answers. And this could really be interpreted a lot of different ways. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with your answers to your discussion questions. But there's a lot of different ways to interpret that one. Then discussion question 2 really gets us into more of cultural competence. And we're dealing with a Native American patient. And gosh, cultural competence is really a bit of a hard topic. On one hand, we don't want to stereotype people and make assumptions. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that if they have accommodations that they need for their culture, we want to make sure that they're being met. So cultural competence is really an interesting topic. It can, again, be approached a few different ways. And in this situation, we have the added circumstance of this being a student that we're working with. So I'll be interested to hear your responses to that discussion question. Then we've got our first written assignment. Now, I am going to attach to this post GCU's APA style guide. Because we do use APA format here at GCU. And this particular assignment, I gotta tell you, it's a little strange from a format perspective. But you do have references that you'll be using, and so I want to make sure you have that APA resource to format your references. So let's talk about that assignment. Okay, so you're going to be interviewing a friend, a neighbor, a family member, and you're going to be doing a health history. Now, when you look at the directions for this assignment, there truly are 2 separate parts of the assignment, okay? So the first part is truly the health history. And there's 8 different points that you need to cover during that health history. And so everything there is about your interaction with that particular individual. Please note that number 7 is a review of the systems. And so you do need to go through all the different systems with the health history, and you can find that information in Bates in your text. And then number 8 does apply to that particular patient or person that you're interviewing because you're not using a patient, okay? Remember, this is strictly a health history. There's no physical assessment components. So please just include the history in that assignment. And this first part, you can format it anyway. You can just put, patient demographics, chief complaint, body systems, respiratory, cardiac. It doesn't need to be, I don't want it to be in narrative paragraphs. I want it, you write it out just like you would a regular patient health history in a clinical setting, okay? So that's part 1. There are no word limit requirements, number of word count requirements for part 1. You're just going to go and document that complete history with items 1 through 8. So that's one part. The second part is an actual paper where you're going to write paragraphs. It doesn't have anything to do with that person that you did the health history on. This is totally talking about general health history things. And so you're going to look at the directions and the rubric and write paragraphs about those particular items in the direction and the rubric. So we're not talking about the person that you interviewed. We're just talking about conducting health histories in general and different techniques and such, okay? So there's two separate parts of the assignment. The second part is the one that has the word count attached to it in the directions. You can upload two separate documents, or you can have the history and then have the actual paper in one document. Either way is fine. Either way that makes you happy. Works for me. Please note there is an abstract required. And in that GCU's APA style guide, there is a section on writing abstracts, because I'm not sure if you've had that in another course. There is a word limit, and you're supposed to include a summary of what's going to be found in the paper. It doesn't take the place of maybe an intro paragraph like for future papers, but it's a summary of what can the reader expect to gain knowledge-wise from reading this paper. Okay, so just take a look at the APA style guide that I've attached and you'll know how to do your abstract. Okay, I think that is everything I wanted to let you know about the written assignment. Just, remember to do your spell check and grammar check and all that kind of stuff. We're in a graduate program, so I'm expecting reasonable writing, okay? Then, just kind of looking forward briefly for any of you jumping ahead to week 3 for that assignment, I've had a couple students get confused. You're going to be critiquing the last time you had a physical assessment performed on you. So the last time you went into your family medicine doc, your GYN nurse practitioner, whenever you went in for an office visit, you're going to reflect on that, and you're going to be critiquing the person who actually assessed you. Okay, so just in case some of you are looking ahead. All right, I think that's about it for this week. I'm especially going to be interested in how you approach the student in that discussion question. I think we'll have some comments about that. It takes a lot of thought and practice to work with undergraduate students who are just kind of starting out and getting their feet wet. You want to make an impression on them, but you don't want to discourage them. So, all right, guys, hopefully I'll be nice and healthy next week when I come back and see you again. And I'll see you in the main forum.